Well, there you just heard it. She's alive. She's running again. It sounds great. Good oil pressure. Everything checks out good. Buttoning her up now, getting exhaust back on it. Got to put 10 on it. Finalize a few little details here and there. A couple other little things we're going to do to it. But at least it's alive. Sounds great. These guys did a great job. Can't be happier with the way this project has gone. For as complicated and difficult as one of these older machines can be, it really went pretty slick. These guys did an outstanding job of getting this thing together and getting us to this point where it's alive and running. So stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you some more videos here shortly. This thing's going to be backing out of here soon. We'll be bringing you all that too. So be sure to check that out here in just a second. Hey everybody, Shaving Nobody Else's Auto. We're here at Murphy Truck Repair and they've got the loader done. So finally gonna get this thing back out the yard and get some work done with it. Got a few more things I want to get done with it while it's in town. I got a couple of these tires that will go low after a few weeks. I'm gonna try to get it into a tire shop, figure out where I've got these little tiny leaks at. A couple little things like that, so we're not going right back with it. But here in the near future, we will. What happened? Here's what happened. This is the crank out of the machine. This keyway right here is obviously stripped out. It was like this when I bought it. We found this when I bought the machine. However, at that point, this hub that bolts on the front of the crank, which is where all your pulleys and everything bolts to, and then we start rolling with it on that. So what happened is this keyway gave away. This hub was not solid on the crank, so obviously I didn't have any belts turning. That's a problem when you need your fan to turn and your air compressor to turn, and all that other stuff has to be working. So obviously that was a problem. Now, like I said, we knew we had that issue, but we had it all sucked on there and it worked very well for several years. What happened this time, it worked itself back loose after several years of being that way, and then it just galled these threads of this big nut that held that pulley on. So that was what my issue was. The machine ran great. It was still running when I realized that all of a sudden nothing was turning on the engine. So everything in here was fine. This was our primary issue. However, to fix that, you've either got to replace the crank or pull it out and get this machine. Fortunately, our friends at Weller Tractor Salvage had another crank on the shelf and worked out perfectly. While it was out, we replaced some of this other stuff. Some of these hydraulic lines that run underneath the engine, we replaced some of that stuff as well while we had the thing apart. So while it was in the shop, obviously we had the entire engine out of this thing. Had the tin off, had the radiator out of it, had the starter overhauled. It boiled out and cleaned out the radiator. I cleaned up everything in here, all the engine compartment, best I could. It isn't perfect, but I got a lot of the big stuff off. I cleaned the engine, repainted the engine, and got a lot of that stuff cleaned up while everything was apart. Over here on this side, kind of the same thing. New filters, all the little short hoses were replaced, like here and down here. These are a couple of these big hydraulic lines that run underneath the engine. We replaced that stuff as well. Of course, all new filters on everything while it was all apart. So hopefully we should be good to go. I'm going to take this thing to the car wash. I'm going to clean the inside of it out. We're going to try to get these tires fixed, try to get some of this other stuff done while it's in town. So anyway, that's where we're at. A few more little things to do, but hopefully this thing will be back out at the yard working here in the very near future.